What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Boy, do I love the Mad Lads over at Tier 0 and the hard work that they do for the community. They are doing a double discount sale where code What's Good 5 is now 10% off for everybody for an entire week here until Friday, 3 o'clock Central next week. But quantities, as always, are limited, so some of these deals are going to go fast. They will also have daily deal specials going every single day, so check back for those too. But the first thing that I think is going to go, because sales are way up on it ever since the leaks, take those with a salt shaker of salt, of course, but we know 5 of those ghosts are very real, is Ghost from the Past 2022, and at just $635 a case. That is 50 of these tuck boxes in total. That is crazy to me. $635.58. Remember, MSRP is up to $20 a box here because they have 20 cards per box. Now, hopefully, some of those singles are way better. Hopium, after that description of competitive mainstays and stuff like that being in the set. But we divide that by the 50 different tuck boxes you get here, and that's just $12.71. That's cheaper than the retail of last year's Ghost from the Trash, which went for $25 to $30 a box on the secondary market and still is. And this is probably the most speculated set in a very long time. I'm hoping it turns out to live up to the hype, but I do think after seeing on my back end of other sponsors really having the sales start to spike on Ghost, that this is a crazy good deal. And if you're not going for a full case, you can still get that free shipping at over 50 pounds on anything site-wide. And they do have the tuck boxes, or not the tuck boxes, the displays that have 5 different tuck boxes at just $80 and then discounted even further with code What's Good 5 at 10% off. Remember, go over here if you want to change that currency. Now, if you're not in it just for sealed product, I've been sleeping on sealed, it's been terrible lately. Well, they have Starlights, they have singles, and I love the gimmicks like this. Those golden cards, which now have the pre-orders for Utopia, as well as Dark Paladin. They still have Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician in stock. I'm a sucker for stuff like this, especially Jinzo. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get my hands on the Jinzo. So if you're having trouble getting up to there on that 50 pounds, there's stuff all across the site that can definitely get you there. I think they also have the GX boxes and some of the singles in stock. But check out the site, scroll for yourself, see what you might want, because these prices, they're crazy, and I imagine they're going to be running out of them. Now, let's go ahead and get on to what's moving on the market. Super polymerization, the ultimate rare, actually just going to crazy heights. A lot of people speculating on this for Albaz format. You're going to have all the fusions and access to them, so Super Poly must be good, right? Well, this card has been slept on for so long, even while being slept on, it was a $100 card, and now it is towards $180+ right now, with people biting in on those sales rates around this price, slowly accepting that, yep, this is going to cost more than it did before, with a ton of the buyout being around $140. I feel like Super Polymerization is one of those cards that will find its way back into formats, will be a board breaker. I think if Phantom Knights had been way more prevalent in this format, we would have already seen this taking place, but with everybody going, if you ain't fusing, you're losing, this card does get a bit stronger. Now, speaking of, the good old Albaz Strike structure deck, that's pretty much what the rest of this Market Watch ends up being, besides the pile decks and those techs getting bought out. Aluber is now headed towards perhaps $125, $130. It's crazy because a lot of the top-rated sellers are charging in that range of $125+, and it's starting to disappear at under $110. Donna Majesty has a lot of speculation on it from that. Oh, Aluber spiking. Should I get the sealed? I think the set finally, it's going to pay off. It's going to go up. It's looking really good. There's other buyouts happening in here. I don't know about that one. The ratios for sealed, ever since they changed, they took out the rares, they upped it to 10 secret rares instead of 8 secret rares. You're now not even seeing mathematically a playset of every single secret within an entire case. It's hurt sealed so gosh dang much. And when we look at Blazing Dumpster Fire, which got up to $68 a box at one point and has, Pot of Prosperity, it is now selling at $60 a box. Still to this day at this point. I don't think necessarily that the sealed boxes are going to be doing any better just based off of this. You might see a temporary spike of people rushing towards it. I've heard a lot of speculation on it, but I don't think it's a good move at this juncture. It needs something more besides just Stardust and a Luber to really make this set take off. It would need like Ready Fusion really impressing itself into the format and becoming a $70 card alongside a Luber. That's the kind of thing you would need to happen for Dawn to become a really next level. You're going to make a ton of bank on the box thing happening. And also looking into Dawn, branded opening is spiking really big here, and it's a card that's played somewhat heavily in the deck. You have the super rare version here, being the only version currently out right now. I do think it's probably a card you want access to if you're playing the deck. You discard a card, you take a Despia monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense, and the rest of the turn, after it resolves, you have to only summon fusion monsters. Wrapping back to that polymerization, super poly. Now, you do have Masquerade the Blazing Dragon spiking up today, too. People slept on this for a long time. It was $2. I've been buying some OCG Ultimates for the Patreons that have been signing up over there, and now it looks to $8 to $9. Also out of Burst of Destiny being newer. Yeah, I think it's a decent card that people will want to have access to. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon has been spiking heavily. We know that that gets played with the Albaz Strike structure deck, that we're not relying on just seeing the hard Red Eyes fusion or going into Verte. We don't need to do that in that deck, and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is looking pretty nice to impress himself on that format, especially if he's not reprinted in Ghost from the past 2022 or something. And the Starlight Rare, it's spiking hard. I warned you guys that it most likely would, and people snored for weeks after I said that. Here we see it is $500 and quickly into the 600s at this point. While the Ultra Rare, it's been chilling around the 125 for a bit, but now you see that it's starting to go up past that. If you want a top-rated seller, it's around $140. Black Metal Dragon in the pile Good Stuff Dragon Link version of the deck has been seeing play to be able to search out Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which I hadn't peeked in on for a while. And I do know that there's the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 common, and looking at that versus all the other commons, that's a bit of a penny stunk. Every single other version of this card is $1 plus. And then you also have it being a dual terminal rare in the set, which is doing well because the commons are the top money out of the set besides Skill Drain. Yay, stonks. But yeah, you're able to go ahead and search this, and just looking through all the different versions, it seems like certain versions of this card people are still very willing to pay a lot more money for. And then you have the Altar Art getting its hollow form but being stuck in gold over here. People aren't rushing out to get it or anything. In fact, I remember this being $3, and it does look like it's gone down for a bit over time. Destrudo is in the Dragon Link version of things, though, there, and that helps your engine go crazier in different directions. I feel like Destrudo has a reprint due for it with it being peeled off the list, but I also, the player brain, vendor brain in me, look at these prices, look at the quantities, and go, I feel like there's a buyout that's going to happen on this at some juncture, but you're playing versus a racing train of Konami also knows they peeled this off of the list, hasn't had a printing in multiple years. When will the reprint be versus could there be a potential buyout on it? Depends how many of the list are topping and how many people end up going for it. I tell you guys never to bet against draw cards, and when Into the Void came out in Battles of Legend, Light's Revenge, I pointed at it, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely going to go up over time. Here we're seeing a huge spike on it, and it's around $5 to $6 at this point. Once again, just crazy to see how long term these reprints will happen, the price will chill out, and slowly, cyclically, a lot of these draw cards go up in price. Now, speaking of those dual terminal card commons being so high priced, Stratos continues to get bought out and is $15 to $16. I would expect this for something like the Pharaoh Tour common, but dual terminal, yeah, hype! People are really going after the Hidden Arsenal additional Chapter 1 commons like crazy. In fact, Wabaku also seeing a pretty big spike over here. Very few copies. In fact, yeah, very few at the $4 mark, although Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily coming in clutch here with 53 copies before it's $8 to $9. Love to see my sponsors doing work like this, not thinking with greed, actually trying to make the sale. I love to see that from the guys on my banner. Psyframe Gear Gamma Collector Rare. I missed this buyout happening. Like, I remember it teetering and running out of quantities, but holy heck, $280 for the first edition Collector Rare, and almost all the $180-ish unlims gone completely off the market as people are cycling around this card in the TCG. And speaking of hand traps, Dimension Shifter is about a $10 card. It's resting at the $9, $9.50s, and I can't deny the power of this card, but you gotta see it in your opening hands for it to make its punch and impact, but it can be a huge impact when it does. The Gold Sark Megatons, they never seem to stop giving back, man. I wish we could see that from Modern Tins, but where's the promos? Enough of my rants, though. Go check out that Tier 0 sale. It is looking super juicy, and you want to be able to look around. Don't have FOMO with that, though. I know some things will sell out. Check your own wallet. Make sure the deals are good for you before you enter code What's Good 5 for 10% off here to support the channel directly. I know that with sales, the word sale, it gets people super hyped, but this is a really freaking good one. And what do you guys think of how the market has just been hammered over and over by Pile the decks and then the upcoming Alba Strike structure deck? It is getting just past the point I thought it already would be. I saw Luber hitting maybe 90 before, but here we see those triple-digit crazy spike numbers and people spending their money very readily on some of these copies at even $125. It's getting wild over here.